How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid Group. It had quite the pullback inside of the market today, just like many other stocks. And many of you have been sending me messages saying, what's the update? What is going on? So we're going to be talking about it in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know those key levels in a bearish case scenario and as well as in a bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. In regards to the short interest, we know it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $40.75, being down 9% on the day. On the low, it tested $39.34, and then on the high, testing $45. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 78.368 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 133.319 million shares. So what you can notice right away, we did have below average volume and we were dealing with some fairly choppy markets, and it's part of the reasons why we saw a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right at 68.41. Keep in mind, it is cooling off. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on our chart, we have strength above the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA looking really strong. So as far as where we tested right at 39.34. And I was talking about in the video yesterday, the worst case scenario, you'd want to see Lucid hold up $40. We still did close at $40.75, so I want to see a continuation of this going into tomorrow. So what that means is if we end up having a dip, I want us to hold that $40 level and then make that push again going to $45. $45 is definitely a clear area of resistance for now, and it will serve as a psychological area. And what do I mean by this? That means if we have a lot of buying pressure coming in and it's at $45, then we can look forward to actually testing resistance right around $48. So now we could see what's going down in the after hours at the time of this recording. It is around $40.97. So this is definitely a good look right here. So that's what I'm saying. If we can have this continuing in the pre-market as well, then things do look good for Lucid. Also, for anyone that's thinking about getting into this play for the long term, if you're just buying shares just now, don't do it. Not the best idea due to the fact that you would be paying a premium. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we see for the filing date of November the 10th, we have Creative Planning that went in with a call. We have Coastal Capital Corp with a filing and they close out their position. We also have Alliance Bernstein LP that purchased 18,933 shares. We also have HAP Trading that closed their position, and that's all we have so far for the 10th. We already covered the previous ones in the last video. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 43.26%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 20.6 million shares. As we scroll down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 4 million, updated 20 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.70%. Now when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of the 8th, it was at 40.86, and then for the close of the 9th, which was yesterday, being at 43.2. 0.26. So one thing that is very clear, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why if there's a lot of buying pressure coming into the stock, you can see some moves to the upside, but it does contribute to its overall volatility. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow is 689, and then on the outflow it was 776. When we take a look at the breakdown, it was 4.84 on the large, 341 on the medium, and then 344 on the small. Keep in mind this is in the millions. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large it was 7.89, then on the medium it was 389, and then on the small it was 379. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, November the 10th, it being negative 3.05 million. When we take a look at the breakdown even further, you could see for the retail side, which tends to represent the small, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And the same thing we could see for the large, we had more selling as well. So one thing that is very clear, we saw selling on the institutional side, and we also saw selling on the retail side. Could be some profit taking and so forth. And like I said, the markets were extremely volatile. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was actually right around 4.86%. So this is not too bad whatsoever. There are still many who are holding their Lucid shares, and we do have some inflows that are coming in due to the demand. I also did see that it was looking green inside of the after hours as well. So a lot of the selling pressure that we ended up getting today, I feel like was mostly just a reaction or just traders, like I said, taking profits. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid Group, I think it did pretty well considering how the market conditions were. We ended up actually testing into the $39 range, but there was a lot of support there. There was a lot of buying, and we were able to actually close the day right above $40. And the reason why this looks really good, when I was taking a look at after hours, I see that we were getting into the $41 range. So going into tomorrow, I would love to see the $40 area hold up or near the high 39s, because that ends up being the case. Then of course, I'm going to be looking forward to seeing that move to see if we can push back again to 45. If we can pick up and the volume is there, then we can look forward to seeing 48 and then seeing how the stock does. Now, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it also does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is part of the reasons. If you have volume coming into Lucid, we can look forward to seeing that $50. I know many traders want to see that, but keep in mind, if the volume starts dying down or there's less interest or there's less demand, this stock will pull back and come into a range that might be worth considering, especially if you want to get into a new position and you believe in Lucid for the long term. But for the most part, as long as it's in this $40 range, I don't see it being a great long-term investment at that price. I want to make sure you guys are getting in at a good deal, all right? I know I'm going to be getting a lot of hate for that, but I want to make sure you guys are maximizing your entry, and by doing your homework and doing your due diligence, you will see the reason why there's no point paying for Lucid at these current prices. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.